Hello, good evening, everyone. How's it going?
Yeah, how's everyone doing out there tonight? We are so excited to be here. My name is John Gardner, and this is my wife and law partner, Radlin Mendoza.
Hello.
And we are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. And we come to you almost every Wednesday night, and we give you immigration updates, legal updates, and most importantly, we like to answer your questions. We know you have immigration questions, and we have answers. However,
Good. Sorry. I was just going to say good evening, Miss Lovely. Always here to support us. Good evening, Quelly.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. We've had kind of a sporadic last about month and a half because we've been doing a lot of traveling, so our schedule's been a little different. But we're looking forward to getting back on schedule here with our Facebook Lives on Wednesday. What I was getting ready to say was a warning that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is technically not legal advice. We still want you to bring your questions, and we will answer them. But we want you to make sure that you don't rely on them as legal advice. Okay. And also, before we get too far in, I want to say hello to our TikTok family over here. We have two screens going.
How's it going, guys?
Facebook Live. You'll be seeing me look over here a lot. That's because I'm monitoring the TikTok questions. So hello, everyone from TikTok.
We would put it over here behind, but then we wouldn't be able to see the questions.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to reach it to scroll through them and so forth. So my advice to folks on TikTok is to come early and get your questions in the queue, and then we can get to them.
And also, for those on TikTok, if you want to jump over to our Facebook page, it's at Gardner Mendoza Law. You can put a longer question in the comments, and we can also put it on the screen. So, yes, as John said, welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday night, October 26th, 2022. Almost the end of the month, almost Halloween. I hope you guys out there are having a great Filipino American History Month, because it's almost coming to an end. And we started it off in the Philippines.
That's right. We did. We started off in the Philippines. For those of you who haven't been with us for a few weeks, was it 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, we did our Facebook Live from Cagayan de Oro in the Philippines with a live audience. It was really cool. There were about 35, 40 people there with us, and we fielded all the questions live. It's on our Facebook page if you have any interest in going back to look at it.
I know you guys do.
It was a lot of fun.
It's riveting.
It was a lot of fun.
No, it was really fun to have a live audience in the Philippines and to be able to answer their questions and to be hanging out also with my parents and their team there. And we also got to meet our virtual assistant, Rhea, and hope you're on, Rhea, and hope you're doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great seeing you. So much fun.
Yep.
So much fun seeing you. Go ahead.
No. We're so excited to talk. We're speaking over each other.
Yeah, that's because
John and I actually were separated, not separated. I mean, we were apart when I went to Israel this past week to hang out with my parents and my brother and sister. And if you guys follow our Facebook page at Gardner Mendoza Law, hopefully you do. If you do, please, is it like? Yeah, like and follow. And if y'all are on TikTok, also like and follow our TikTok. It's at Immigration Lawyer 1. And it was an amazing trip too. We basically, my siblings crashed our parents' Holy Land trip in Israel for 5 days. They were there for 14, and it was really fun. And we got to do some original family of 5 bonding without spouses or grandchildren or children. And it really, allowed us to just focus on each other and really have a fun time. And it was kind of like being a kid again, because my parents were, parenting us. And we're all old.
I'm glad that you had fun, but I'm really glad to have you home.
Oh yeah, me too. So happy to be home. But
yeah, so I see we've got some questions coming up here, and we are going to get to those. But before we do that, the other thing I wanted to do, rather than won't say it because she doesn't want to brag about herself, but I will brag about her. Last night we attended a really wonderful function at Susan's kitchenette, Filipino restaurant. If you've never been there, you should check it out sometime. It's
in Hampton
fantastic.
Roads in Virginia Beach.
Yes, yeah, thank you. If you're in
California,
Yeah.
it's worth the drive.
That's
There are a
right.
lot of great restaurants in California.
And I'm glad that you said that, because we have clients all over the country, all over the world. Our physical office is located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is on the East Coast of the United States. But we do have clients all over. So yeah, if you're in this area, if you're in the Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake area, you should check out Susan sometime. But the Filipino American Community Action Group, PhilAmCAG, had a wonderful event honoring professional leaders in the Hampton Roads area who were Filipino, and they honored some older folks and a lot of younger folks who are sort of the new leaders coming into the community. And it was really awesome. I mean, there were sheriff's deputies and doctors, and it was really cool. And Radlin was nominated, selected, and awarded. Yeah, she was selected as an immigration lawyer, as being a community leader in the Filipino community here in Hampton Roads. And they were spot on with that, because she is a community leader here in Hampton Roads.
Thanks, honey.
On top of being a fantastic immigration lawyer, wife.
He's biased.
And mother. And daughter.
Don't forget about daughter.
Yeah,
I'm an okay sibling. Right. I mean, I'm mid in the sibling department. No, okay. I'm a phenomenal sibling. Thank you. It was a really fun event, and we got to hear everyone speak. No one really expected to say anything and share their words, but everyone got to speak, and we got to know what each of the honorees were all about and their contribution to the Filipino community here in Hampton Roads. And boy, I was very, very impressed with the group.
Well, I was awesome too. I mean, it was a powerhouse lineup of folks that they were honoring. Yeah. And, there was a common theme with everyone who spoke, which I thought was cool, is that everybody was very thankful of the original wave of Filipino immigrants who came to this area primarily in the 60s, and a lot of them through the Navy, not all, but a lot. And just how appreciative everyone was just of how those trailblazers, that first wave, really created the foundation for their children and grandchildren to just go on to do just amazing things in this community, including Radlin. So hats off to all of them. It was really cool. And check out Susan's if you get a chance. Good food.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. You can go in there forever. All right. So we are going to answer some immigration questions. The first question we have today, and again, thank you all for saying hello and good evening to all of you. And good evening to everyone on TikTok. Quali says, I'm just going to read this because it's long. My husband already talked to your office about his case. Can we request you to be his attorney? Yes, of course. His case has arrived in the United States as tourist, but eventually met an employer and willing to sponsor him. His I-94 will expire on November 22nd. How to apply for extension visa, and can you assist him for that? Will there be a valid reason to extend? So a lot of details there. Would have some follow-up questions to that before I can even try to answer this question. But you have made a good first step, and that is to contact my office. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And when we do meet and consult, then I can get more details and absolutely assist you with that question. But thank you for coming on our live, and thank you for contacting your office. All right, let me grab the second one here. Yeah, you were about to say something?
Yeah, well, Rochelle, I just saw, she had said, can I ask about a K1? And I was going to say, of course you could ask about a K1, but then I see that she went ahead and I think she's got a question there, so.
Oh, no. Okay, let me put this up on the screen. So Roselle is asking about, I think this is in reference, you mentioned to the K1, right?
Yes.
Got an RFE July 12th of 2022. Received the RFE hard copy on October 22nd, July, August, September, October. My question is, can I still send my response to USCIS even though the mail has expired already? So I would look at the due date, Roselle. Typically, there's 84 days to answer an RFE. So July, the time zone, July to August to September. That's, what is that? 60 days. and then a little bit of October. But there's also an extension due to COVID. So take a look at your RFE, and this is for everyone who gets an RFE. Take a look at your RFE, and the due date when it is due back to USCIS will be on the request for evidence. And then you can add 60 days to that due date because of the COVID provisions that allowing applicants to take a little bit longer in answering the RFE. So definitely take a look at that. If if you have some trouble looking at that and figuring out what that is, feel free to contact our office, and we can help you with that, as well as help you answer it. I think it's really, really important to, if you do have an RFE, to have an attorney take a look at it and even perhaps respond. I mean, not even perhaps respond. Let me be a little bit more forthright and say you should have an attorney respond to your request for evidence. This is the very first part of your K-1.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wonder what happened there.
Right. And the fact that, it just got lost in the mail. One of the things about having an immigration attorney in the law firm represent you in your case, like us, is that we get the mail and you all also get the mail. And so there are times when, and it's not super common, but there are times when we don't get the mail, but our client gets the mail, or, it's more common that we get the mail and our clients don't get the mail. So there's sort of that safety net there.
Yeah, that's a good point, because everything's going to two places. So the odds of something getting lost in the mail, it happens, of course, but the odds of it happening going two different places goes way down.
Right. And that's unfortunate. That does happen sometimes, but you're probably still okay because of that additional 60 days to answer the request for evidence. So hopefully that answers your question, Roselle. Let us know if it did.
Yeah, and let us know what that wheel is behind you.
Yeah, what's the wheel? Is that a Ferris wheel? Or we like to know what the profile pictures are, because we just like to know.
Yeah, it's just a game that
just
we play.
Mixes things up a little bit.
Try to figure out. That's right.
Let's grab some questions on TikTok. And for y'all asking questions on TikTok, if you haven't followed us and you haven't followed the page, please do so. I try to put out content fairly frequently, and I don't want you to miss anything.
All right. So the first question up here, Ezek7 wants to know, hi, are you Filipino? I can answer that.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I get that question a lot. Yeah, I am.
All right.
I won't go too much into it. That was another, well, I will. So that is a sibling joke, just an ongoing sibling joke. And it was really coming up while the 5 of us were in Israel. And that was that I am adopted and I am not part of the family. And so, you know how siblings are. It was funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I am Filipino.
Yes.
You guys are like that too. You're like, she's not Filipino, but I am.
She is.
Go to my TikTok page. I made corned beef and onions and rice this morning. That's a Filipino meal for sure.
All right. Anahi wants to know, I don't know if you know the answer to this one. Is it faster to get an interview in Juarez if my husband has never been in the United States?
So the question, I think, is maybe, is your case, is consular processing where the person it's not a provisional waiver. It's not a person who's been undocumented in the United States. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's any, only in the sense that you're skipping over some very lengthy steps before you get in the line for the interview in Juarez. So in one sense, yes, it is going to be faster because you're going to be skipping like the big step of filing for a provisional waiver, a stateside waiver, and waiting for that waiver to be approved. So yeah, I would say yes, it is going to be faster because you're skipping that step. All right. Great question. We'll take another one there.
You want to grab one more?
So we do 2, 3, 3, 3. Yeah.
Grab another question from TikTok real fast. My husband did his fingerprints June 3rd, and we have not received any other letters. What's the time?
So the time frame, it really depends on where that case is ultimately going, what type of case it is. Maybe it's a marriage case because you mentioned your husband. Maybe it's naturalization. I don't know. I'd have to know more information. But just really quickly, and we do this every week, how to check processing times. So USCIS, just Google USCIS processing times. It should be the very first thing that comes up. And it's uscis.gov. USCIS processing times. All you have to do is Google it. You don't even have to remember the uscis.gov and navigate around that. It should come up. And then what you're going to do is put your form number in. So in this case here, if it is a green card application, then put I-485. If you're wondering about an N-400 for naturalization, then put an N-400, and then you pick the service center where your case is, and then it will spit out the processing time. So if it is a U.S. citizen filing for their spouse and the case is in California Service Center, then that is taking, well, that's taking 10 and a half months in the California Service Center, for example. So
yeah, and I can just quickly
why don't you go over processing times really quickly?
Rattle off the rest of these real quick.
Because everyone wants to know about processing times.
So the Radlin said California Service Center, 10 and a half months. The Nebraska Service Center, also 10 and a half, well, 10.5, 10 and a half. Potomac Service Center, 12 months. The Texas Service Center, 11 and a half. And the Vermont Service Center, 16. All
right. And so that's for U.S. citizens filing an I-130 petition for their spouse, their unmarried child under the age of 21, or their parent. This group of people categorized as immediate relatives.
Right. And for a lawful permanent resident filing for a spouse and or unmarried children, no matter what the age, for California Service Center, it's 25 and a half months. For the Nebraska Service Center, 10 and a half months. The Potomac Service Center, 29 months. Texas Service Center is 20 months. And the Vermont Service Center, 30 months.
Yep.
All right.
So that's just
some variation there.
Right.
And you don't have a whole lot of control over which service center it's going to go to. So it's kind of luck of the draw.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
All right.
And you said N-400, which triggered my memory to remind you to, you probably want to mention Citizenship Day one more time.
Yes. We're 23 minutes in. Now is a really good time to mention Citizenship Day. So for those of you who are in the Hampton Roads area, we are having Citizenship Day. It's going to be on November 12th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at St. Gregory the Great Catholic School in Benedict Hall. For those of you on TikTok, if you're in the Hampton Roads area, please write this information down. Please come to Citizenship Day. It is a free event where immigration professionals, immigration attorneys, paralegals, students are helping the community complete the N-400 application. And last night, when I was, I guess, giving the acceptance comments speech, I had to mention this because after I told people about Citizenship Day, a couple of people came up to me and asked me for the flyer and more information, because in particular, the lady at our table, she said, my husband has had his N-400 application, just like you said, sitting on his nightstand for a couple of years now. And he really just needs to get it done. And so this is the case with many people. It's just sort of like, oh yeah, I should get that done. One day I'm going to get that done. Well, if you're in the Hampton Roads area, and maybe one of the reasons you've given is like, wow, I just I don't know how to do that application. That 21 pages is so daunting. I can't even look at it. Or maybe you have something in your record. Maybe you came to the United States and maybe you have a theft charge or a conviction, or you have a reckless driving ticket, and you're just not sure whether it's something that you can or should be doing. please come to Citizenship Day, because that's what we're there for. We're there to help you figure that out and vet you for citizenship. And it's absolutely free. Of course, you have to pay the filing fee, but we are going to be there to complete your N400 application for you. So please come out.
Yeah, I mean, some folks, don't want to naturalize because they don't have any interest in becoming a citizen, and that's totally fine. But if you are interested in becoming a citizen, there's a good chance if you haven't done it yet, even though you're eligible, it's probably because it's just one of those things that, life is happening every day and everything's good. And you just, you don't want to get into something that you don't need to. You keep putting it off, like, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that next month. I'll do that next year. It's always on your list of things to do. I mean, gosh, we all have those. I mean, I have this one small savings account that's a duplicative account. I just keep meaning to go to the bank and talk to them about just closing that account. And every day something else is more important, like our daughter's soccer practice. So I get it. But you really should talk to somebody, especially if the reason that you're not doing it, and this is the other reason some people don't want to do it, is because there's something they're afraid of. They think, gosh, I've got this little problem, and life is good. Why would I risk opening this box of potential trouble when I don't have to? Well, come talk to an immigration lawyer about it, and then you can know whether you're opening a box of trouble. And if you are, then you don't ever have to file it. You can just say, oh, good thing I didn't go forward with that.
Right.
But if you find out that, oh, that's not going to be a problem at all, then you're like, okay, this thing I've been worried about all this time is really not a problem at all.
Yeah.
And so at least then you know one way or the other. And that's better than just sitting on it, not knowing. So that's
Absolutely.
my plug. All
Absolutely.
right.
So please come out. That is November 12th, Saturday, November 12th in Virginia Beach at St. Gregory the Great Catholic School, Benedict Hall. And this is I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but this is what we do for the community. It's one of the things that we do for the community. And please, please, please come out.
Yeah.
We would love to see you.
Absolutely.
All right. So Quelly has a follow-up question. She says, can he still file the extension this week, considering that his I-94 will expire on November 22nd? Yes. You can file an extension anytime up until the expiration of the I-94. It's October 26th, as far as I'm concerned. That's a really long time away, but that's just, we're used to dealing with tight deadlines just because sometimes our clients come to us a couple of days before. So,
very late in the game.
Yeah, he can file this week. He can file next week. He can file on, I know you don't want to hear this, you can file on November 21st, but anytime up until the expiration of the I-94. Again, I'm glad that you're not waiting last minute to do it.
And let me jump in real quick here, because JG on TikTok wants to know if there's a number that they can contact us. Yes, our phone number is 757-464-9224. And yes, thank you for putting that banner up on Facebook. That would be helpful to folks there as well. Let me repeat that for TikTok: 757-464-9224. Or you can contact us at info@gmlaw.net. info@gmlaw.net.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we had, like, the lines are open right now, kind of like a telethon? That would be so cool. Call now. Okay, we don't have that.
Well, they are. It's just this is the modern version of the telethon.
Yeah, I know, but if, like, people actually called and people actually answered, that would be cool. Okay, we could work on that, huh? That's something. The phones could be ringing in the background. Anyway, okay. Let me shush now. Do we have another question over there on TikTok?
Let's see.
Someone on TikTok said we never answer questions on TikTok. Never. You need to watch your language, right? We sometimes miss the questions on TikTok. There are hundreds of them.
Yeah, TikTok is a whole different thing. The TikTok questions, they queue up fast.
And then they disappear.
Yeah, and then when they get a whole new section of them to load, they all drop out, and then you have to try to find them again. And sometimes,
which is why we always invite you to come to our Facebook page, not because Facebook is better, but just because our StreamYard is set up with Facebook, not with TikTok. Unfortunately, we can't do that. And we can put your question on the screen, and also you can type many, many characters. Okay.
All right, here's a question that maybe you could just open up to like some of the different groups and who they can bring. The question is, how can I bring my uncle to the United States? And so that's obviously going to depend on some things.
Yeah. Right? Well, I mean, if you're talking about a straight petition and bring your uncle here, you're not going to be able to do it. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can only bring over your spouse, your siblings, your parents, your married and unmarried children. So that's a large group of people that you can bring over. But you cannot directly petition for your uncle. Your uncle may be able to immigrate to the United States another way, maybe through employment based, but you can't petition for him. If you wanted to apply for a tourist visa and say, hey, I'm going to see my niece or my nephew, use you as the point of contact where he's going to be staying, then, of course, you can make sure that he has your information and address and things like that. If you are a lawful permanent resident, just as a reminder, you can petition for your spouse and unmarried children, no matter what the age of your child or your children are. So just a special note for lawful permanent residents. I hate it when I see this question, but I see it fairly frequently. And they say, gosh, I didn't know that as a permanent resident, I could petition for my spouse. I thought I had to be a U.S. citizen first. So no, that is not true. You can petition your spouse as a lawful permanent resident. I think that sometimes permanent residents also don't know that you can petition for your unmarried children. And so that's a huge benefit to your child if you file that petition right away as soon as you become a lawful permanent resident. All right. So let me grab, are we good with that?
Yeah, I think so.
So Lakeisha, how's it going? Great to see you. She wants to know if, oh, look, it's a photo. So cute. Awesome. Awesome pick. Wondering if a majority of cases are actually processed within the stated time frame. So USCIS actually just changed the way that it reports their time frames. And if you take a look on their processing times, it says 80% of cases are processed within X amount of time. So I guess there's 20% that aren't. They're longer. Maybe they're even shorter. So, Lakeisha, hopefully that answers your question. I love that picture. I love your two smiling faces, looking gorgeous and beautiful. All right. Okay, let's see here. So Trisha says, can I wait 2 to 3 months after getting married to submit the I-130 and I-485 applications? Yes, you can wait 2 to 3 months. I'm not sure what the basis of that question is, but yes, you can.
And it's a cool photo also.
Yeah, you guys tell us where your photos are. We're not going to answer your questions. Just kidding. All right.
Okay, we got a question here on TikTok. Hi, I just got DQ yesterday. Visa category F2A. PD is October 2020. How long for the interview letter? So they were documentally qualified yesterday.
Yeah.
Visa category FTA. The priority date is October 2020.
Yeah.
And the question is about how long for the interview letter.
So I'll look at the visa bulletin right now for November. So that's the $1 million question, guys, for everyone out there who is waiting for an interview. And I'm sorry to say that we have a major backlog with the interviews. And if you're from the Philippines, it's even worse, just because there's so many people subscribing to the visa category, so many people applying, so many people DQ'd and ready for an interview, but waiting for an interview time slot. So I cannot give you even a guess for you in particular as to, when is that interview going to open up for you. Just hold on. And I hate to say this because it sounds like I'm not a compassionate person when I say try to be patient, because you've been probably told that for many years now. Just be patient. It's going to get there. The I-130 petition is going to get approved. Just try to be patient. But there really isn't. Unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do short of filing a lawsuit to get the case moving. So if you are sitting there and you're waiting and you're so sick and tired of waiting, yes, we can file a lawsuit to get things moving. Many people don't want to take that extreme measure. And I will also say that a lot of Filipinos do not want to take that extreme measure. Maybe it's just not Filipinos, but the people who are asking about these long processing times are mostly Filipinos because of the long wait for an interview slot. And the reason given as to why we don't want to file a lawsuit is because maybe they will be mad at me and deny my case. Well, that's not really a good reason not to file it if you are done waiting. So if you are interested in filing a lawsuit because you are sitting at the National Visa Center and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, please contact us. You can send an email to info@gmlaw.net. You can also give us a call, old-fashioned way, 757-464-9224. The next time we're going to have open lines. That'll be so much fun. But it's a great question. Just, can you imagine? Just imagine it. Maybe our group here they're too young to know about the telethons and how exciting they were.
Phones ringing.
That would be cool. We actually should have a call-in. We're gonna look into that. It'd be fun to have someone call in and to ask a question. Does anyone want to call in and ask a question?
Then I could say things like, we're going to get now to Bob, who's been waiting on the line for 40 minutes.
Right. We could totally do
Bob,
that.
thanks for your patience.
We basically just hook a phone up to our speaker and then call in, and then people hear. That would be fun. Okay. Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So Enlightened Heart wants to know, I lost all the information and paperwork that I received from the NVC, National Visa Center. The interview is soon. How can I get all the docs?
Oh, I lost the paperwork. So typically that information is emailed to you. You could email the NVC and ask them to resend it. But it's typically emailed. Hopefully that helps.
Search your email.
Interview is coming up. I mean, we don't get anything in the mail from the NVC anymore. So if you got something from the mail, the case may be really old, but I would definitely reach out to the National Visa Center, and they do accept emails. I don't know what the email is right now.
She'll call in. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
I bet you there are other people, not just Lakeisha. I mean, Lakeisha would be the one to call in, but there are others out there. All right.
Somebody said hello to Uncle John and Auntie Radlin.
Who is it?
I don't know. I missed it. It was sorry, they scroll through quickly. Sometimes they get past us.
All right. Here. Let me see here. This is a good question. Great question. Get this question a lot. Where is Joanne?
Yeah, where are you? Nobody's.
Let us know. Let us know where you are. Or it's our god sis, Jane. Jane is actually the one that recommended me to be a young professional Phil-Am person.
There you go.
So thank you, Jane. That was a really fun event.
That was an awesome event.
The joke last night was we are youngish. Youngish. Okay. All right. Joanne is in California. Yes, that is beautiful. Is that a pier, or I'm not sure what that is. Joanne says, I have an 18-year-old brother. Will he be included in the petition that I file for my parents? So there is an assumption that Joanne is a U.S. citizen, because only U.S. citizens can petition for their parents.
That's right.
And we get this question a lot. your brother, unfortunately, he's going to, be listed on the petition as a child of your parent, but he is not going to be able to immigrate when your parents come. Your parents will have to, once they immigrate as lawful permanent residents, as soon as they come here, they can file a petition for your brother. Hopefully that helps. Well, we just got a giant heart that was
Yes, I just
very
saw that.
cool.
Mhm.
I wish you guys could have seen that. It was cool. It was like
Yeah.
heart in the universe and hands. Anyway, so Joanne, hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if you have any follow-ups on that. All right. Let's see here. I don't have any other questions here. Wait, let me just double check. No more questions here on this side.
Okay, VZ here wants to know. This was from Vicstar was sending that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
But VZ0481 wanted to know what is the process for a permanent resident to become a U.S. citizen?
Great question. Great question, especially since in a couple of weeks we are going to have a citizenship event here
That's
in
right.
the Hampton Roads area, free citizenship event. If you guys didn't hear us before, it's November 12th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will be having immigration attorneys, professionals to assist with filing your N400 application. So if you've been procrastinating about that, please come to St. Gregory the Great Church. Actually, it's the school, Benedict Hall. And we have information on that, about that on our Facebook page. So please check there for any updates and email us info@gmlaw.net to register for that, because we do like to vet people so it goes along a little bit more smoothly. And USCIS will be there. Don't worry, they're not going to be there to arrest you because that's what everybody is afraid of. No, they're very nice, and
They're not there for that, and they wouldn't be the ones doing that anyway.
Yeah, they're not doing that. They will be passing out
Long
information, answering questions. I mean, even some of the volunteers ask them questions, and they're super nice, super friendly, and they are going to be there the whole time that we're going to be there. So come out and tell your friends, tell your family, and there will be other folks there too. Tidewater Mortgage is going to have a table set up there. The Virginia Business Development, I believe they are coming as well. Catholic Charities will be passing out their information about all the wonderful things they do and what they can do to help you in the community. So please, please, please come out. We would like to see as many people as possible. All right. What was the question?
Yeah.
It was about LPR to naturalization.
Yeah. What's the process?
Yeah, the process. So in order to file for U.S. citizenship, use the form N400, but the eligibility requirements. Number one, you have to be a lawful permanent resident for at least 5 years, or if you are married to a U.S. citizen, living with that U.S. citizen, and that U.S. citizen has been a U.S. citizen for 3 years, living with them for 3 years, and married to them for 3 years, you can apply in 3 years. So it's the 3-3-3-3 rule. And other eligibility requirements, so it's the 3-3-3.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Other eligibility requirements is that you have to take a look at your travel as well. And you have to be, generally speaking, more inside of the United States over the past 5 years. If you're basing on 5 years or past 3 years, been more in the United States than outside of the United States. Sometimes our clients have a conviction or an arrest, or they're on probation. And if that's the case, sometimes they're not eligible to apply at that moment in time. But if you have any of those things, of course, reach out to an immigration attorney and make sure that it's okay to file. And sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, okay, I have this, so I'm not going to file because this is going to bar me from getting the citizenship. That's not going to necessarily be true. So that's the good moral character requirements. I'm kind of all over the place here because I'm just kind of thinking about, some of the main things that impact our clients. It's the travel, it's a potential of a conviction, one of the questions on there is paying taxes. And a big thing, of course, is, have you already claimed to be a US citizen? So if you've written down somewhere, or if you've told someone that you are already a US citizen, definitely reach out to an immigration attorney to make sure that you can file that case and not jeopardize your lawful permanent resident status. One of the things that we don't like to do, we don't like to put our clients in harm's way. We don't want them to be
Right.
in a worse position than they were before they met us. And, sometimes stuff blows up. I mean, look, we do a lot of cases. A lot of people reach out to our law firm. They send us their denials. They send us their notices of intent to terminate and stuff blows up, guys. I mean, it happens, and you have to be careful what you put on one application. Say an application when you're filing for your green card, or you're coming on your fiance visa. What do you put on that? What do you put on that, and how is that going to reflect on your N400? And are you going to put the same thing? Because was there a potential misrepresentation at that point, and then it's something else is going to be on the N400. So just that this question is kind of getting into a lot of side issues, but it's important. It's important to make sure that your immigration record is accurate on all of the applications, and things can really come to a head on that N400 where just all the stuff comes out. The fact that maybe all these things. And we've actually done a whole webinar on Filipino immigration issues. They're not just Filipino immigration issues. They are common, but we see them a lot in the Filipino community. So hopefully that I kind of went off the rails there with that, but
No, can you mention the time, unless I may have missed it because I was writing something down for a second there. The timing, because there have been a couple follow-up questions about that. How soon? I have my green card. How soon after becoming a permanent resident can I apply for citizenship?
So it's 5 years if it's based on marriage to a U.S. citizen, and that U.S. citizen has been a U.S. citizen for 3 years, and that you've been married and living with that U.S. citizen for 3 years, then it's 3 years. Now, not to confuse you guys, but you can also apply 90 days early. So 4 years and 9 months, 2 years and 9 months. Does that answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And some of the questions, what I was jotting down for myself, if you all can be patient to have these questions till next, well, I don't know if we're going to be here next Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
We are.
Next Wednesday. Yes, we are. Next Wednesday. I'm going to try to put together some information. Well, I'm going to put together some information that I think will be helpful. We've been getting some questions about things like, mortgages, opening bank statements, forming LLCs, and if I'm in a certain stage of the process, can I get a mortgage from a bank? And when you're talking about the sponsors at our Citizenship Day, that I thought, I'm going to try to get some concise information, and I'll present it next week about some of this. Okay, some of these questions. If you're not a U.S. citizen, what is your situation when it comes to borrowing money from a bank or starting a corporation here in the United States, so on and so forth. All right.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic.
Because those are some sort of business questions, and I don't know some of the specific answers. And rather than just, give a best guess, I'm going to just get some information and make sure we get it right and come back to you with it next week. Okay.
All right.
And I know you're like, what are you talking about? There's some TikTok questions about.
Okay. Well, that's important stuff. Yep. I mean, we are a very entrepreneurial community.
Right. And I want to make sure that people know what exactly they can and can't do while they're in an immigration process.
All right. So we answered Joanne's question, and let me see here. All right. This is a follow-up question to Joanne's question, and it's the initial question was she's petitioning for her parents. Joanne is a U.S. citizen. She's petitioning for her parents. Her brother is 18
right?
and wants to know, hey, is my brother going to be able to come with my parents? And my answer was no, unfortunately not. Once the parents immigrate to the U.S., they can file for their son. And the question is, my brother cannot file an immigrant visa together with my parents. So you can file for your brother, but of course, that is going to take a really long time for a visa to become available. So strategically, I mean, if you had all the money in the world, I mean, you don't even need all the money in the world. You need an additional $535. You could file an I-130 petition for your brother. And when your parents immigrate to the United States, they can file an I-130 petition for your brother. But one thing that you have to know is that your I-130 petition for your brother is not going to be available. The visa is not going to be available for many, 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 many years. And they're in California. I'm not sure what country, but so it's just kind of like a backup, right? But your parents, again, depending on when they immigrate to the United States and how quickly everything is processing, it's much faster. So it's still, if your brother ages out and the Child Status Protection Act does not apply, there's a lot going on here, Joanne. Then it could take it could still take a long time. I mean, it could still take 10 additional years looking at the F2B category for the Philippines, which is November visa bulletin. And again, we're talking about a long time from now. It could take 10 years. But look, don't get discouraged. Just file that petition for your parents. We can help you with that. Just the goal is to get it done as soon as possible to basically give your brother a better chance at getting this all done before he ages out at 21 and then goes into F2B category. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself and talking kind of like a lot of jargon, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I know you do. All right. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, we have a question here. We have a couple questions. One was a gentleman who he's a U.S. citizen. His girlfriend lives in Mexico, and they're talking marriage and immigration.
Okay.
So the question, what are some of the options? What's the best path for them to go down? Or what are some of the options?
Some of the options are he's a U.S. citizen. Some of the options are fiance visa if they've seen each other within the past 2 years. Another option is to get married and file the I-130 petition. Another option, if she finds herself here in the United States on, inspected potentially adjustment of status. So those are the options, and it really depends on the goals of the couple. And one of the disadvantages of the fiance visa is that when you come to the United States on your fiance visa, number one, you have to go through a whole separate process. And number two, the applicant cannot work or travel outside of the United States for a good 6 to 8 months. So it's just, to me, it just depends on the couple, right? Like if you just saw each other and you're not going to be able to see each other for another year, yes, go file the fiance visa. But sometimes depending on the people and after I have a full consultation with them, I recommend going to get married if it's a possible thing. But again, it just depends on the goals of the couple. So those are the options.
Right. And that would dovetail with Luna's question, which was they're about to submit the K-1 application and they want to know how much proof of the relationship documentation will they need.
Oh, I think I saw that question here too.
Oh,
unless it was a repeat question.
They may have jumped over.
Okay. So how much proof of the relationship? So I think I have to see what you have.
Yeah. We know it when we see it.
I mean, we put in what we can get, right? So there's not. I mean, with fiance, um, with a fiance visa petition, of course you have to have photographs to show that you've actually seen each other. We also like to include passport stamp to show that you actually went to the country, the boarding pass, um, photos, and any type of. We also, if our clients correspond with each other, which they do, you know how it is in a new relationship. You are speaking, you're chatting like 8 hours a day. And so we sometimes include chats too. Again, it just depends on what the couple has. Some couples have a lot more documentation to show the relationship than others, but the requirement is that you have seen each other within the past couple of years. And we definitely do like to show the relationship. But again, I would submit what you have. It's usually not tons for a fiance visa. Hello, Philip. It's great to see you here. We're looking forward to working with you too.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Lovely, awesome couple. Really great story. I don't. I love meeting people like that, like you guys. All right. So there's a
No more
question
there?
here about the National Visa Center. You go ahead and grab one while I'm looking
Yeah.
for that question.
Well, Cassandra wanted to know that she has a friend who can't read,
Yeah.
but she wants to become a citizen and do her
Mhm.
citizenship. And she heard that there's some way that you can get a waiver if you can't read, the test waived.
Yes, that is true. It depends on the reason why your friend can't read. I had a client, and we get waivers. Well, we don't get waivers. The doctors sign off on the waivers. But I had a client, and he didn't pass his test the first time, and we're going over it again, and I'm doing test review with him and citizenship review, and his daughter and his wife were in the conference with me, and I said, well, I mean, you studied, right? Because we're going to review. It was like, again, right before the second interview where he had to retest. He's like, I just can't remember. And his wife and daughter were saying like he can't remember anything, and they were just kind of adamant, like, I don't know, he just can't remember anything. I was like, well, has he gone to the doctor about this? I'm like, no, he's never gone to the doctor about his inability. Remember, they were talking about it being really a problem. And I said, well, why don't you go to your doctor and see if there's, maybe there's an issue. And he was actually diagnosed with a learning disability as an adult. Well, I mean, he probably had it as a child as well. And so we were actually able to get the waiver in that way. So it really just depends on why your friend can't read and whether the doctor can actually make the connection between not reading, basically making the connection between the medical issue that she has and connecting it to the fact that's why she can't read. So yes, there is a potential waiver.
Awesome.
Long story long.
That's a good answer, though.
Okay, and so Rhea has put the comment up about Citizenship Day event. If you don't mind pinning that, Rhea, that would be awesome. Again, we're 1 minute. It's already 9. Wow, we've had so much fun. How about if we grab another TikTok question and here's the one. You look and I'll grab this. Flora says, "Oh, is that a wedding?"
It is indeed.
Oh, wow, what a beautiful dress. It's hard to see. I'm just like, is it my eyes, or it's hard to see, but it's a wedding dress.
It's a wedding.
It's a wedding dress, guys.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the wedding. I'm assuming that it's more recent, right? Because I don't have a picture of our wedding, which was 24 years ago. It is not my profile pic, but hers is her profile pic, so I'm
We
assuming
do have
that
we do have wedding pictures somewhere.
they are just they're in that bookcase
We have
over
a
there.
wedding video as well somewhere.
I don't know if we have that wedding video anymore.
We do. It plays on a VHS.
there's no way we can watch it.
We have a wedding video, but we can't
Do
watch
we not
it.
digitize it? Okay, we can do it. We're going to talk about that wedding video later.
Yeah.
Honey, we
Okay.
got to digitize that.
Yeah,
All right. So wanted to know if I can send extra documents to the NVC after I have sent the I-130 to support my case. So the question, I'm a little bit confused about the question. If your I-130 petition has been approved already, then no, I would not send additional bona fide marriage documents to the national visa. I'm not sure if that's what the question is. Your spouse will have to present additional bona fide marriage documentation at the time of the interview. I would definitely have it there, but the National Visa Center requires different types of evidence. So things like police certificate, copy of passport, passport photos, birth certificate, marriage certificate, any divorce decrees, things like that. So hopefully that helps. Passport. Did I say that? Yeah, passport. We are 1 minute past. Should we answer another question? Do we have any?
Yep, we have another one here. I mean, we have lots on TikTok. The question is, hi, does a medical have to be, is it required to be submitted along with the green card application?
I hear the pitter patter of our youngest child coming to tell us it is past 9 o'clock. Okay, really quickly, Ray, just stay.
Timekeeper's coming.
Just hold on. Just pause. Really quickly, it is not required to submit the medical with your application. However, it is highly recommended. Don't even come over here. What the? Stop. You're not coming over here today. So it's highly recommended. And the reason is because your interview may be waived if your application is totally complete. And who wouldn't want that for the interview to be waived? So our recommendation is to submit the medical if you can, and any type of documents that are going to support your case, all the required documents to support your case and make it easier for the officer to approve your case. It's a good note to end on.
Yep.
It's been very fun.
Yes. Great questions. And again, I'm going to bring some information next week about LLCs and mortgages and so forth. All right.
Okay. I have to say hi to Miss Maria Arzaga Torres. She always comes on and she calls me her super lawyer. You know what? I'm going to get a cape next week along with the phones, and it's going to just be a show.
That's right. And
for those of you who do Halloween, happy Halloween to you. And what is it? October 26th. And by the time we get back, it will be the end of Filipino History Month. How sad.
That's right. So we're going to end on that. Congratulations again to Radlin for her award last night.
Thank you.
And we will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Bring your immigration questions. We've got answers.
Bye, guys. Bye, Facebook.
Up. Take care, everyone, on TikTok.
All right.
See ya.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.